care for persons on board, and environment. International organizations and conventions. International Maritime Organization (IMO). Ships are owned and managed by many countries. A ship spends most of her life moving between different ports which are far from her port of registry. This called for an international standard to regulate shipping. Several countries proposed that a permanent international body should be set up to promote maritime safety more effectively. This gave birth to Intergovernmental Maritime Consultative Organization in 1958, which was later changed to International Maritime Organization. The role of IMO is to provide the necessary regulatory framework for shipping engaged in international trade. The result is a comprehensive body of international conventions, supported by hundreds of recommendations governing every area of shipping. IMO's work includes regulations regarding safety, environmental concerns, legal matters, technical cooperation, maritime security, and the efficiency of shipping. Standards of training, certification, and watch-keeping (STCW). IMO's International Convention on Stcw for Seafarers 1978 was the first internationally agreed convention to address the issue of minimum standards of competence for seafarers. In 1995, the Stcw Convention was completely revised and updated to clarify the standards of competence required and provide effective mechanisms for enforcement of its provisions. The 1978 Stcw Convention was the first to establish basic requirements on training, certification, and watchkeeping for seafarers on an international level. The convention contains the basic requirements which are then enlarged upon and explained in the Stcw Code. Part A of the code is mandatory. The minimum standard of competence required for seagoing personnel are given in Part A. Part B of the code contains recommended guidance which is intended to help governments which are a party to the convention to implement it. This convention gave rise to the so-called white list. Vessels which are not in the white list will be targeted by port state control inspectors. The Stcw Regulations classifies the staff on board into three levels, namely support, operational level. The ratings are part of the support level since they cannot keep independent watch but support the independent watch keeper who is at the operational level. Some of the main highlights of the convention are the enforcement of rest periods for watch-keeping personnel, and the requirement of watch system to be so arranged that the efficiency of the watch-keeping personnel is not impaired by fatigue. The regulations also include basic principles to be observed in keeping watch at sea and in port. Stcw lists out the special training requirements for personnel on board ro-ro passenger ships, tankers, and bulk carriers. It also identifies the mandatory familiarization training requirement for all sea-going personnel prior to going out to sea.